Good morning, guys. Today we are having yet another super cool and super awesome, amazing lecture, first session from NCERT Extract that is starting with the basics and the most important NCERT extracts of living world. So hope you all guys are fine and this video is not alive and it's just uploading in the YouTube today. Okay, and it's from your favorite and my favorite by point neat. We have the NCERT extract, The Living World, for class 11th in 2021 and 2022 batch. And soon after this session, we will be having a question bank. Soon after the chapter of Living World, the question bank is coming soon. So just wait and see what we are gonna do in this question bank. Okay, so this is one of our new launching and we will be commencing it soon in our YouTube channel. Okay, so let's move forward and what look forward at today's lecture on the living world. Okay, so and this question bank discussion will be a live on YouTube and it will not be a recorded because question bank discussion there might be students is required for committing the answers, right? So it might be a live, it might be, it is a live on YouTube and it will be commenced soon after the classes, NCRT extract classes on the living world. Okay, so let's move forward and we are starting today with the topic of the living world, the first chapter of NCERT class 11, the basics of biology on starting with the living world. So living organism exhibit, one second guys. Living organisms exhibit the following characteristics, and the first one is the growth. It involves the increase in mass and increase in number. So what is growth? It just refers to the increase in mass and the number, right? So in plants, the growth is continuous, and in animals, what happens is that the growth is restricted. The growth stops after a certain period of time, right? So the living organisms show growth from inside, and the non-living organisms show growth from outside. So what is that meant by that? So by growth from outside refers to the accumulation of object on their surface, right? So the materials due to weathering, for example, in the case of mountains, what happens? Due to weathering, the stones get accumulated and that leads to the formation of new mountains. Okay, like that. That's also we can say it to be as a growth. So what's from that we say is that growth cannot be defined as a growth cannot be set as a defining property, right? Growth cannot be set as a defining property, whereas next point is our reproduction. So in case of unicellular organism, growth and reproduction are considered as same, that is the increase in number. So how do this unicellular organism reproduce? They reproduce by a process known as mitosis, right? Whereas in case of humans, what happens? Both mitosis and what? Both mitosis and what happens? Once again. Yeah, in case of humans, both mitosis and meiosis occurs. And what next is that many living organisms in nature are unable to reproduce. Okay, certain organisms can't reproduce. They can't reproduce, such as mules, worker honeybees, infertile human couples. But there are certain offsprings for that too. But what we say is that if we say that all living organisms reproduce, we cannot prove it because certain organisms like mule, worker honeybees, infertile human couples, they cannot reproduce. So we cannot say that this thing what we cannot say this reproduction as a defining feature of living organisms, right? One second, guys. Okay, fine. So let's move forward. to the next page, and we have the metabolism consciousness, and after that we are moving on to one of the important topics of this chapter, right? So let's search. Let's check what is this metabolism. What is metabolism? It is the metabolic activities. What is this metabolic activities? And these are the chemical reactions or the bodily process. Okay, the activities in our body is what is referred to as what this metabolic activities or metabolic process or metabolism. All these are refers to the bodily activities, right? So none of the living or non-living objects exhibit metabolism. None of the non-living object exhibit metabolism. So they, for example, in case of non-living object, whether due the what just digestion occurs, just respiration occurs, just expiration occurs, nothing is going to happen in case of non-living organisms. So we can say that this metabolism as a defining feature of this living organisms, right? Metabolism is one of the defining feature of this living organism. So these are occurring in vitro and can be considered as living reactions, but not living things. Clear with that? I don't know why it's not clearing. I want to erase everything, right? Yeah. Okay, fine. Consciousness. So what is consciousness? It's something, it's one of our ability to respond to an external stimuli, and the only self consciousness aware of the organism aware of self consciousness is only one and only humans. No other organisms are aware of this consciousness. So most self-conscient what organism is human. So the ability to respond to an external stimuli is what we say to be this consciousness. Reproduction in seasonal breeders such as plant and animals is both affected by photoperiod, right? So other organs, other important characteristics of this, where is it? Other important characteristics of the for the living organisms are self-organizing, self-interacting, and evolving, right? So these are some of the other characteristics. And according to IUCN, I can't write with this highlighter, but I am doing that, okay? IUCN, what is this IUCN? So if we say about IUCN, it is the International Union for Conservation of Natural Resources. Okay, that is what we say to be this IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Natural Resources, right? So they said that, oh my God, how can I clear this? Oh my God. Please wait. Yeah, as per the IUCN, okay, fine. So IUCN, they said that the number of species on the human earth, it is 1.7 to 1.8 million. So this is what we say to be the biodiversity. So the number of species on the human, the count of species, which we say to be as the biodiversity. And after that, next concept came, that is the binomial nomenclature, right? Next concept which arose was the binomial nomenclature. Clear with that? So who proposed this binomial nomenclature? Binomial nomenclature is proposed by a scientist known as Caspar Bauhen, right? Caspar Bauhen. Then what happens next is that it was established by a scientist known as Carl Linnaeus, right? Carl Linnaeus established the system of naming with two components, including the generic name and a specific epithet. The first part will be the generic name and the second part will be the specific epithet, right? So the generic name, the first lecture of this generic name should be written in capital, and first lecture of the specific epithet should be written in small, right? All these are certain rules for this binomial nomenclature. And the naming is done by two institutions, that is the International Code for Botanical Nomenclature and ICZ, and that is the International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. So what we can understand from that is that in case of plants, ICBN what names put forth the binomial nomenclature, whereas in case of animals, it is ICZN. Clear with that? One second. It's not at all going. I don't know what's gonna happen. Nothing is gonna happen here. So let's check what happens when we move to the next slide. Yeah, it's okay and fine. Perfect and fine. Okay. So next we are gonna search some of the important rules, some of the most important extracts from what the NCRT, right? So just check it, and after that we will be coming on with yet another question bank. That is a question discussion session from BioPoint. Okay, so guys, just remember we will be coming with the question bank from Living World soon after this. Soon after, most of you will watch the what this recorded session, right? So so that you may attend the question. So we will be coming with the question bank from this Living World soon after the class. So don't forget to watch it and join us in that session too in the live, right? So important rules for binomial nomenclature. The first word in the binomial name, biological name represents the genus. Okay, the first name is genus and starts with a capital letter. And the second word represents the specific epithet. It's also one of the previous year questions. The specific epithet binomial nomenclature comprises of. Okay, and the binomial nomenclature or the biological name when handwritten they should be separately underlined, and in printed they should be printed in italics. Biological names are usually Latin. Okay, they are usually Latinized, and for example, if we take in case of humans, if the biological or the scientific name is Homo sapiens, okay, when printed it is in italics, and when handwritten it should be written and it should be underlined separately. Clear with that? So in case of mango, it is Mangifera indica. Okay. Next point. During the classification, we use various categories to study organisms at various levels. So, each individual units of these categories is known as a taxa, and these categories are known as the taxonomical categories. Example, in case of Animalia, Chordata, Mammalia, Carnivora, Canis, Familiaris, and are various taxa that represent dogs at different levels. Right? So, let's move forward. Taxa or categories represents the basic where is it? Yeah, the basic where is it? Yeah, represents a rank or the unit of classification, right? So it's a basic unit of classification. So what is taxonomy then? It is a classification of all living organisms, including the basic process like characterization, identification, classification, and nomenclature, right? So to facilitate this process, various taxonomical aids has been used like herbarium, museums, botanical gardens, zoological parks. All these are various what taxonomical aid, and those are very important. And another one is the taxonomical keys. Keys and these taxonomic aids are one of the most important topic, right? So then what is this herbarium and all? So guys, we are not going to discuss about the species and all species, kingdom, genus, all those things because all those are very what basics and you all know that. So herbarium, it's a storehouse of collected plant specimens that are stored, pressed and preserved on sheet. So label of a herbarium sheet, very important. Label of a herbarium sheet. So what are the components of the label? So we read all those things, and what we have to check is that there is no height mentioned. Okay, the label of a herbarium sheet doesn't contain the height of the plants. Clear with that? So some of the famous botanical gardens are the Botanical Garden at Kew in England, Indian Botanical Garden at Howrah, and this is the what largest botanical garden in India. Okay, right? National Botanical Research Institute at Lucknow. Okay, while using taxonomical keys, a pair of contrasting characters. For example, if you identify an organism, there is a pair of contrasting characters. If it is okay, then we will stop there. Or if after that, we will further move on to the next subjects. All these are something which we learned from these keys. And such pair of contrasting characters is known as a couplet. And the choice is made between two statements, which is termed as a lead, which leads the further steps. And that's all for this NCRT extract. Okay, that's all for this NCRT extract series. Clear with that? my god, this pen is not at all going. Okay, guys, then we will be joining you with this question bank and living world. Okay, on living world session soon live in YouTube. And thank you all. Thanks for your patient listening. And it's me signing out from your favorite and my favorite bio points in the world of bio. Bye bye.